Aaliyah career 1991 to 1995, age ain't nothing but a number. After Hankerson signed a distribution deal with Jive Records, he signed Aaliyah to his Blackground Records label at the age of 12. Hankerson later introduced her to recording artist and producer R. Kelly, who became Aaliyah's mentor, as well as lead songwriter and producer of her first album, which was recorded when she was 14. Aaliyah's debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, was released under her mononym Aaliyah, by Jive and Blackground Records on May 24, 1994. The album debuted at number 24 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 74,000 copies in its first week. It ultimately peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 3 million copies in the United States, where it was certified 2 times platinum by the RIAA. In Canada, the album sold over 50,000 copies and was certified gold by the CRIA. Aaliyah's debut single, Back and Forth, topped the Billboard Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart for 3 weeks and was certified gold by the RIAA. The second single, a cover of the Isley Brothers at Your Best, Your Love, peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was also certified gold by the RIAA. The title track, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, peaked at number 75 on the Hot 100. Additionally, she released The Thing I Like as part of the soundtrack to the 1994 film A Low Down Dirty Shame. Age Ain't Nothing But a Number received generally favorable reviews from music critics. Some writers noted that Aaliyah's silky vocals and sultry voice blended with Kelly's new jack swing helped define R&B in the 1990s. Her sound was also compared to that of female quartet En Vogue. Christopher John Farley of Time magazine described the album as a beautifully restrained work, noting that Aaliyah's girlish, breathy vocals rode calmly on R. Kelly's rough beats. Stephen Thomas, early wine of AllMusic, felt that the album had its share of filler, but described the singles as slyly seductive. He also claimed that the songs on the album were frequently better than that of Kelly's second studio album, 12 Play. The single At Your Best, Your Love, was criticized by Billboard for being out of place on the album and for its length. 1996 to 1999, One in a Million. In 1996, Aaliyah left Jive Records and signed with Atlantic Records. She worked with record producers Timbaland and Missy Elliott, who contributed to her second studio album, One in a Million. Missy Elliott recalled Timbaland and herself being nervous to work with Aaliyah, since Aaliyah had already released her successful debut album while Missy Elliott and Timbaland were just starting out. Missy Elliott also feared she would be a diva, but reflected that Aaliyah came in and was so warming, she made us immediately feel like family. The album yielded the single If Your Girl Only Knew, which topped the Billboard Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs for 2 weeks. It also generated the singles Hot Like Fire and 4-Page Letter. The following year, Aaliyah was featured on Timbaland and Magoo's debut single, Up Jumps the Boogie. One in a Million peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200, selling 3 million copies in the United States and over 8 million copies worldwide. The album was certified double platinum by the RIAA on June 16, 1997, denoting shipments of 2 million copies. The month prior to One in a Million's release, on May 5, 1997, music publisher Windswept Pacific filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court against Aaliyah, claiming she had illegally copied Bobby Caldwell's What You Won't Do for Love for the single Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Aaliyah attended the Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts, where she majored in drama and graduated in 1997 with a 4.0 GPA. Aaliyah began her acting career that same year. She played herself in the police drama television series New York Undercover. During this time, Aaliyah participated in the Children's Benefit Concert, a charity concert that took place at the Beacon Theater in New York. Aaliyah also became the spokesperson for Tommy Hilfiger Corporation. During Aaliyah's campaign for Tommy Hilfiger, the company had sold all 2,400 of the red, white and blue baggy jeans emblazoned with the Hilfiger name that Aaliyah wore in their 1997 advertisements, and they were constantly restocking those jeans. In 1997, Aaliyah performed the Christmas carol What Child Is This at the annual holiday special Christmas in Washington. She contributed on the soundtrack album for the Fox Animation Studios animated feature Anastasia, performing a cover version of Journey to the Past, which earned songwriters Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Aaliyah performed the song at the 1998 Academy Awards ceremony and became the youngest singer to perform at the event. The song Are You That Somebody? was featured on the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack, which earned Aaliyah her first Grammy Award nomination. The song peaked at number 21 on the Hot 100. 2000, Romeo Must Die. In 1999, Aaliyah landed her first film role in Romeo Must Die, released March 22, 2000. Aaliyah starred opposite martial artist Jet Li, playing a couple who fall in love amid their warring families. It grossed $18.6 million in its first weekend, ranking number 2 at the box office. Aaliyah purposely stayed away from reviews of the film to make it easier on herself, but she heard that people were able to get into me, which is what I wanted. In contrast, some critics felt there was no chemistry between her and Jet Li, as well as viewing the film was too simplistic. This was echoed by Elvis Mitchell of the New York Times, who wrote that while Aaliyah was a natural and the film was conceived as a spotlight for both her and Li, they have so little chemistry together you'd think they're putting out a fire instead of shooting off sparks. Her role was well received by Glenn Oliver by IGN, who liked that she did not portray her character as a victimized female but instead as a strong female who does not come across as an over-the-top women's right advocate. In addition to acting, Aaliyah served as an executive producer of the film's soundtrack, where she contributed 4 songs. Try Again was released as a single from the soundtrack. The song topped the Billboard Hot 100, making Aaliyah the first artist to top the chart based solely on airplay. This led the song to be released in a 12 inches vinyl and 7 inches single. The music video won the Best Female Video and Best Video from a Film Awards at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. It also earned her a Grammy Award nomination for Best Female R&B Vocalist. The soundtrack went on to sell 1.5 million copies in the United States. 2001, Aaliyah. After completing Romeo Must Die, Aaliyah began to work on her second film, Queen of the Damned. She played the role of an ancient vampire, Queen Akasha, which she described as a manipulative, crazy, sexual being. Filming both Romeo Must Die and Queen of the Damned delayed the release of the album. Aaliyah had not intended for her albums to have such a gap between them. I wanted to take a break after One in a Million to just relax, think about how I wanted to approach the next album. Then, when I was ready to start back up, Romeo happened, and so I had to take another break and do that film and then do the soundtrack, then promote it. The break turned into a longer break than I anticipated. Aaliyah enjoyed balancing her singing and acting careers. Though she called music a first for her, she also had been acting since she was young and had wanted to begin acting at some point in my career, but wanted it to be the right time and the right vehicle and felt Romeo Must Die was it. Connie Johnson of the Los Angeles Times argued that Aaliyah having to focus on her film career may have caused her to not give the album the attention it merited. Collaborator Timbaland concurred, stating that he was briefly in Australia to work on the album while Aaliyah was filming and did not feel the same production had gone into Aaliyah as One in a Million had. He also said Virgin Records had rushed the album and Aaliyah had specifically requested Missy Elliott and Timbaland work on Aaliyah with her. During the recording stages for the album, Aaliyah's publicist disclosed that the album's release date was most likely in October 2000. Ultimately, she finished recording the album in March 2001. After a year of recording tracks that began in March of the previous year. Aaliyah was released 5 years after One in a Million on July 17, 2001, and it debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, selling 187,000 copies in its first week. The first single from the album, We Need a Resolution, peaked at number 59 on the Billboard Hot 100. The week after Aaliyah's death, her third and self-titled studio album, rose from number 19 to number 1 on the Billboard 200. Rock the Boat was released as a posthumous single. The music video premiered on BET's Access Granted. It became the most viewed and highest-rated episode in the history of the show. The song peaked at number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the Billboard Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart. It was also included on the Now That's What I Call Music 8 compilation series. A portion of the album's profits was donated to the Aaliyah Memorial Fund. Promotional posters for Aaliyah that had been put up in major cities such as New York and Los Angeles became makeshift memorials for grieving fans. More Than a Woman and I Care for You were released as posthumous singles and peaked within the top 25 of the Billboard Hot 100. The album was certified double platinum by the RIAA and sold 2.6 million copies in the United States. More Than a Woman reached number 1 on the UK singles chart, making Aaliyah the first female deceased artist to reach number 1 on the UK singles chart. More Than a Woman was replaced by George Harrison's My Sweet Lord, which is the only time in the UK singles chart's history where a dead artist has replaced another dead artist at number 1. In July 2001, she allowed MTV's show Diary Behind the Scenes access to her life and stated, "I am truly blessed to wake up every morning to do something that I love. There is nothing better than that." She continued, "Everything is worth it, the hard work, the times when you're tired, the times when you're a bit sad. In the end, it's all worth it because it really makes me happy. I wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world. I've got good friends, a beautiful family, and I've got a career. I thank God for His blessings every single chance I get." Aaliyah was signed to appear in several future films, including Honey, a romantic film titled Some Kind of Blue, and a Whitney Houston-produced remake of the 1976 film Sparkle. Whitney Houston recalled Aaliyah being so enthusiastic about the film and wanting to appear in the film so badly. Houston also voiced her belief that Aaliyah was more than qualified for the role, and the film was shelved after she died, since Aaliyah had gone to a better place. Studio officials of Warner Brothers stated that Aaliyah and her mother had both read the script for Sparkle. According to them, Aaliyah was passionate about playing the lead role of a young singer in a girl group. The film was released in 2012, 11 years after Aaliyah's death. Before her death, Aaliyah was cast in the sequels of The Matrix as the character Z. She had filmed part of her role in The Matrix Reloaded and was scheduled to film and reprise her role in The Matrix Revolutions as C. Aaliyah told Access Hollywood that she was beyond happy to have landed the role. The role was subsequently recast to Nona Gay. Aaliyah's scenes were included in the tribute section of the Matrix Ultimate Collection series. In November 2001, Ronald Isley stated that Aaliyah and the Isley brothers had discussed a collaboration prior to her death. She had previously covered the Isley brothers' single At Your Best, You Are Love. Prior to her death, she expressed the possibility of recording songs for the Queen of the Damned soundtrack and welcomed the possibility of collaborating with Jonathan Davis. By 2001, Aaliyah had enjoyed her now 7-year career and felt a sense of accomplishment. "This is what I always wanted," she said of her career in Vibe magazine. "I breathe to perform, to entertain. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I'm just a really happy girl right now. I honestly love every aspect of this business. I really do. I feel very fulfilled and complete."